Chosen one, lock your attention on my voice today. Your recent action was not a mistake. You pulled away from everyone this past week. You went completely quiet. People noticed the sudden shift, and they thought you were just being difficult. But your action was so powerful that heaven recalibrated because of you. That withdrawal was a legal decree in the spirit realm. You feel guilty about this distance. You think you are failing your family by not speaking up. You sit in a crowded room and feel a deep need to stay quiet. The atmosphere feels heavy. You smile faintly, but your internal radar is picking up frequencies you cannot name. You are not wrong. Your silence is simply your spirit trying to physically protect you. The enemy wants you to feel ashamed of this isolation. He is absolutely terrified of what happens to his dark plans when you finally understand the true power of your quiet state. You did not find this message by a random algorithm. Heaven brought you here to confirm exactly what you feel. Soon I will reveal the true reason behind your sudden silence. I will expose the lie keeping you feeling guilty. At the very end, I will give you a specific declaration. This declaration will permanently activate the hidden power of your profound stillness. Do not click away from this message. Your future self is waiting on the other side of these words. Stay with me until the final verdict. You walk through the door of a familiar room filled with people you know well. But the moment your foot crosses the threshold, the air feels incredibly heavy. It feels like you just walked straight into a thick, invisible wall. You stop for a brief second. You take a deep breath. The energy in the room feels completely wrong today, and you instantly know something is entirely off. Conversations suddenly drop in volume when you arrive. People look up and their smiles do not quite reach their tired eyes. They ask how you are doing today. You say you are fine. But your inner spirit immediately detects a strange tension floating silently in the room. They are talking about normal daily things, yet you feel an intense urge to turn around and leave immediately. You force yourself to find a seat among them. You desperately try to join the casual conversation, but your words feel heavy and completely unnatural. You feel like a stranger visiting from a distant foreign land. The deep isolation washes over you like a freezing cold wave. You try to force a fake laugh to make them comfortable, but it physically drains the energy from your body. This is exactly why you have been pulling away recently. It is not because you do not love your close friends or family. Entering their loud spaces leaves you completely exhausted, and your head throbs intensely after spending just an hour in their presence. You quickly retreat to your quiet bedroom to recover. You sit in absolute silence and wonder what is broken inside you. I need you to hear my voice very clearly right now. You are not broken. You are not imagining this strange, heavy atmosphere. When you walk into a room and the air feels thick, your spirit is accurately reading the true environment. You physically feel the unspoken anxiety of everyone around you. You carry the heavy emotional baggage they absolutely refuse to acknowledge in themselves. The world looks at your profound silence and calls it a dangerous weakness. They label your sudden need for distance as a highly toxic behavior. They desperately want you to fit into their loud and chaotic little boxes. Because your quiet depth makes their superficial lives feel incredibly uncomfortable, they constantly try to fix you. Their deep misunderstanding makes the lonely nights feel unbearable. You quietly ask heaven why you have to carry this strange, invisible burden. You cry out for just one day of normal, simple thoughts. But heaven sees exactly what you are secretly carrying today, and I see the massive weight pressing down on your tired shoulders. Your pain is completely valid and real. Your silent withdrawal was the only way your spirit could survive the heavy daily static. Let me completely reframe your current reality today. That heavy silence you have been apologizing for was never a sign of human weakness. It was actually your greatest defense mechanism activating to protect your soul. God did not make a terrible mistake when He gave you a quiet nature. He intentionally designed you to be a highly tuned spiritual observer, rather than a loud earthly participant who wastes energy on meaningless drama. Your quietness is actually a highly advanced spiritual radar. When you suddenly stop speaking in a crowded room, your spirit is actively scanning the invisible frequencies around you. You are constantly collecting vital data that everyone else completely misses. They are busy making loud noises just to feel important, while you are quietly mapping the true spiritual battlefield hidden beneath their casual conversations. You carry the rare gift of profound spiritual discernment. You are an empath who physically feels energy long before you hear any spoken words. When the room feels heavy and your throat tightens, your spirit is simply telling you to withhold your sacred energy. It is a brilliant, divine warning system. You do not speak because the atmosphere is not safe enough to hold your premium frequency. The people pulling away from you right now are not actually rejecting you. They are simply sensing a massive frequency they cannot yet understand. Your sudden silence makes them feel deeply uncomfortable because it forces them to look at their own hidden shadows. They desperately want you to make noise so they do not have to face the quiet, uncomfortable truth about their own broken lives. Look closely at the ultimate spiritual authority in the ancient texts. When Jesus stood before his angry accusers, he completely refused to defend himself. He offered them nothing but absolute silence. His quiet posture was incredibly loud in the spirit realm, and it terrified the powerful earthly leaders far more than any angry shouting ever could have done. Your silence carries that exact same prophetic weight today. When you refuse to engage in petty earthly arguments, you strip the enemy of his power. He desperately wants you to drain your energy by explaining yourself to people who are fully committed to misunderstanding you. But your recent withdrawal completely ruined his dark strategy because he cannot effectively fight an enemy who absolutely refuses to speak. You must immediately stop feeling guilty for protecting your own peace. Your spiritual battery was dangerously low because you gave your premium energy to ordinary situations. Heaven essentially forced you to retreat so you could finally recharge your spirit. The sudden isolation was a divine consecration meant to completely separate your pure signal from their highly toxic daily static. Every time you force yourself to talk just to make others comfortable, you actively betray your own spiritual compass. You lower your natural vibration just to match their chaotic earthly frequency. This is exactly why it physically hurts your head when you try to blend in. You were never meant to blend in with a careless crowd that vibrates at a significantly lower spiritual level. Your recent decision to step back was incredibly brave. You chose to honor your internal divine warning system over normal human expectations. Heaven watched you make that difficult choice and immediately authorized a new level of spiritual protection over your entire life. You successfully passed a massive cosmic test without even realizing you were taking one, and your quiet obedience shifted your future timeline. This revelation is meant to bring you profound peace today. Before you go any further, gently press the like button so this truth can reach another chosen one who is feeling guilty for their silence tonight. There are thousands of sensitive souls who desperately need to know they are not broken. Your small, simple action helps them find this vital divine reassurance right now. The isolation you feel is just the first layer of this profound mystery. You now know your silence is a powerful radar, but you still need to understand exactly how your physical body processes all this heavy, invisible energy. There is a deeper biological secret behind your spiritual sensitivity, and I am going to reveal that amazing hidden truth to you in just a short moment. Silence is never actually empty. It is incredibly heavy and full of unreleased power. The earthly world wrongly teaches us that noise equals authority. People shout over each other just to feel important, but true divine power never has to scream to be heard. Let us look at the ultimate historical example of this profound spiritual truth today. Think about Jesus standing before the powerful Roman governor. The governor held the earthly power of life and death in his hands, but the angry crowd was screaming terrible lies outside the palace. They desperately wanted him to argue back and defend his reputation, but he gave them absolutely nothing. He stood there in complete majestic silence. Why did he choose to stay completely quiet? His silence was certainly not born from human fear. He was not intimidated by their loud, pathetic threats. He knew exactly who he was and where his immense authority came from. When you know your true divine identity, you never have to prove it to ordinary broken people. His silent posture was a deadly weapon. The Roman governor was completely terrified by this quiet response. Earthly leaders know exactly how to handle loud arguments and angry emotional protests. They can easily manipulate your desperate words, but they do not know what to do when you absolutely refuse to play their chaotic game. Your stillness completely disarms the dark enemy every single time. You share this exact same spiritual DNA right now. When toxic people attack your character, your first human instinct is to aggressively defend yourself because you desperately want to explain your side of the complicated story. You want them to finally understand your pure intentions. But explaining yourself to committed misunderstanders is a massive waste of premium energy. Your recent withdrawal was a highly strategic spiritual move. You finally stopped answering their endless, ridiculous questions. You stopped trying to prove your worth to people who are completely blind to your bright light. Heaven watched you close your tired mouth, and heaven immediately stepped in to fight the heavy battle for you. When you stay completely quiet, God actively speaks on your behalf. The ancient texts promise that heaven will fiercely defend the chosen ones, but heaven cannot effectively defend you while you are busy shouting over the divine voice. You must learn to hold your peace in the storm. Your stillness is the exact platform where massive miracles naturally occur. The people who provoked you were actually hoping for an angry reaction. They feed entirely on your chaotic emotional responses. Your anger gives them a false sense of control over your beautiful, sensitive spirit. But when you walked away and stayed totally quiet, you completely starved their toxic demons. You took your massive power back instantly. They are now sitting in the incredibly loud echo of their own mistakes. Your heavy silence is forcing them to hear their own toxic thoughts. They are terrified because they cannot read your next strategic move. You have become entirely unpredictable to the dark earthly kingdom today. This is the absolute power of the truly anointed vessel. Do not let anyone shame you for your quiet season. They will quickly call you arrogant or emotionally aloof. They will say you think you are completely better than everyone else. Let them talk entirely to themselves. You do not owe them a single explanation for the strict boundaries heaven commanded you to build around your life. You are actively mastering the high frequency of divine restraint. This is a premium spiritual skill that takes many painful years to fully learn, and most people spend their entire lives reacting impulsively to every tiny earthly trigger. But you are learning to sit in the heavy silence until heaven gives you the official signal to safely move. Every time you bite your tongue, your spiritual muscles grow significantly stronger. You are building an unbreakable fortress around your highly sensitive heart. The enemy can no longer push your emotional buttons for his own entertainment. You have successfully disconnected his remote control from your life. You are finally completely untouchable. This profound stillness is preparing you for your next major earthly assignment. You cannot lead effectively if you are constantly defending your own reputation. Heaven needs you to be completely secure in your hidden identity before the next door opens. Your beautiful silence is actively sealing the final cracks in your spiritual armor today. Let us dive deeper into the hidden mechanism of your profound quietness. You must understand exactly what happens inside your physical body when you enter a crowded room. You are not just a normal human being with ordinary feelings. You are a highly advanced spiritual empath carrying a massive hidden capacity, and your entire nervous system is wired completely differently than most people. Your physical body acts exactly like a giant energetic sponge. While ordinary people only hear the words being spoken loudly, you instantly absorb the silent emotional frequencies hiding beneath those words. You can literally feel the hidden grief, the secret anger, and the unspoken anxiety of absolute strangers pressing heavily against your own chest. This is the incredible hidden power of the fourth identity layer. You are a natural discerner of unseen spiritual truths. But this beautiful gift comes with a massive physical cost. When you are exposed to toxic or chaotic environments, your physical body absorbs that heavy static like a magnet. This is why you feel completely exhausted after a simple casual dinner. Think about a highly sensitive radio antenna trying to process 1,000 different chaotic signals at the exact same time. The antenna will eventually overload and completely shut down to protect its internal circuits. Your sudden silence is exactly that necessary biological shutdown. Your spirit forcibly disconnects your voice to prevent a massive energetic overload. You did not choose to withdraw because you were being rude. Your inner spirit recognized that the surrounding atmosphere was dangerously toxic to your premium frequency. It pulled the emergency brake on your social interactions to save your life. Your silence was a brilliant automated defense protocol executing perfectly in the dark background. When you try to force yourself to speak during these heavy moments, you literally feel sick to your stomach. You get terrible sudden headaches and your throat feels incredibly tight. This is your physical body aggressively rejecting the low earthly vibration. Your divine DNA is screaming at you to immediately leave the contaminated area. For many long years, you completely misunderstood this biological reaction. You truly believed you had a severe social anxiety disorder. You thought you were fundamentally flawed because you could not easily handle normal crowded spaces like everyone else. You spent countless hours forcing yourself to be an outgoing person, desperately trying to fix a completely perfect machine. I need you to finally forgive yourself for fighting your own divine nature. You were trying to operate a premium race car on a dirt road. You are not broken. You simply require a completely different operating environment to thrive. Your high frequency cannot survive in rooms filled with heavy gossip, bitter complaints, and toxic earthly drama. Your recent quietness was the moment you finally stopped fighting your own design. You unknowingly gave your spiritual radar permission to fully protect you. This is exactly why the silence feels both incredibly strange and deeply relieving at the same time. You are finally honoring the massive, invisible boundaries heaven built directly into your physical nervous system. You must stop apologizing for needing enormous amounts of quiet alone time. You are not being selfish when you retreat to your silent bedroom. You are actively performing necessary spiritual maintenance. You have to manually process and release all the heavy, toxic energy you accidentally absorbed from the broken world throughout your long, difficult day. If you do not take this quiet time, the heavy, earthly static will eventually crush your premium calling. The enemy knows this specific biological weakness perfectly. He constantly tries to surround you with highly needy people who loudly demand your constant attention. He wants to drain your energetic battery so completely that you have nothing left for your true divine purpose. Your beautiful silence is your ultimate energetic shield against his dark strategy. When you close your mouth and step back, you instantly stop the massive energetic leak. You stop giving your pure holy light to dark, endless black holes. You begin to rapidly store your premium energy for the massive spiritual assignments waiting quietly in your near future. This is the exact moment you transition from being a victim of your sensitivity to becoming an absolute master of it. You are no longer tossed around by every chaotic emotion in the room. You are learning to observe the heavy spiritual weather without actually absorbing the rain into your own body. This is a massive evolutionary leap for your beautiful soul. Once you fully accept this hidden biological mechanism, the mystery of your profound isolation completely disappears. But this new understanding naturally leads to a terrifying new question. If your silence is simply a beautiful defense mechanism, why does it trigger such massive anger and fear in the people closest to you? I will expose their hidden terror next. Now we must address the intense reaction of the people around you. When your spiritual radar forced you to go quiet, you probably expected them to simply leave you alone. But instead, they became incredibly angry and deeply offended by your sudden distance. They aggressively demanded explanations and accused you of being entirely selfish. You must understand exactly why they panicked. Your silence absolutely terrifies ordinary people because it acts as a massive spiritual mirror. When you are constantly talking and fixing their daily problems, you serve as a convenient distraction. You carry their heavy emotional baggage so they never have to look at their own deep flaws. But your sudden quietness completely shattered that comfortable and lazy arrangement today. Without your constant comforting words, they are suddenly trapped. They must face their own dark shadows alone. The heavy atmosphere they blame on you is actually their own toxic energy bouncing back at them. They cannot handle the severe discomfort of their unhealed trauma. They desperately need you to make noise again so they can happily go back to sleep. They were feeding on your bright premium energy for many long years. You were their personal energetic battery. Every time you patiently listened to their drama, you freely transferred your pure holy light directly into their chaotic voids. Your sudden withdrawal cut off their primary earthly supply entirely. Their anger is simply the desperate reaction of someone losing their favorite power source. They will use every manipulative trick to pull you back into their chaotic frequency. They will call you incredibly arrogant. They will loudly claim your spiritual path makes you completely uncaring. They sincerely hope the heavy weight of false guilt will force you to break your divine boundaries. But you must firmly resist the sudden urge to explain your beautiful protective silence. It is not your spiritual responsibility to keep them comfortably numb. You were never assigned to be their permanent emotional savior. Your only real assignment is to fiercely protect the premium calling heaven placed inside your chest. When you completely refuse to participate in their low vibrations, you actually give them a hidden opportunity to finally heal themselves. This brings us to a profound deepening of your current reality. You might think your silence is a painful punishment for the broken people you genuinely love and care about. You worry that setting massive boundaries makes you a terrible earthly friend. But I want to completely reframe this heavy emotional burden right now. Let me show you what this deep isolation actually means for your bright cosmic future. Your silence is not a weapon of cruel abandonment. It is an absolute spiritual elevation. By stepping back from the loud earthly noise, you are clearing a massive landing pad for your true divine blessings. Heaven could not drop the premium upgrade into your life because your hands were completely full of other people's broken pieces. You had to drop their toxic baggage. The profound emptiness you feel right now is incredibly sacred. It is the absolutely necessary quiet space right before a massive cosmic manifestation. The heavy pressure in your chest is actively preparing your physical capacity to hold pure joy. You cannot pour premium new wine into tired old wineskins. Your old fragile identity had to completely dissolve in the silent dark room. Your quiet withdrawal legally authorized heaven to permanently shift your earthly timeline today. You officially stopped fighting the old draining battles against people who never truly understood your heart. You simply walked off the toxic battlefield entirely. That single silent action terrified the dark enemy and deeply delighted the divine cosmic architect. You are finally allowing the universe to fight the heavy battles entirely on your behalf. Because you stopped broadcasting on their low, chaotic frequency, you are now a hidden ghost to the enemy. He cannot easily locate your spirit in the noisy earthly realm anymore. You have officially tuned your internal radio dial to the exact premium station of heaven today. This beautiful new frequency will naturally attract people who never require you to shrink yourself down. The highly uncomfortable transition zone is almost over. The people meant for your next season will never fear your profound silence. They will sit peacefully, quietly beside you. They will completely understand the heavy spiritual weight you faithfully carry. They will speak the exact same spiritual language without ever demanding that you exhaust yourself to make them feel loved. But there is another massive reason why your quietness is so incredibly effective right now. Your silence does not just protect your own premium energy from earthly vampires. It actively destroys ancient invisible strongholds in the spiritual realm. Your absolute stillness is actually the loudest weapon you currently possess. I will explain exactly why your heavy silence screams so loudly in just a short moment. Your profound silence is the most terrifying sound in the entire spiritual realm. The earthly world completely misunderstands the actual nature of true warfare. Ordinary people think battles are won by screaming loudly and fiercely, fighting back with angry, bitter words. But the dark enemy already knows how to perfectly manipulate every single word you speak in anger. Your loud, chaotic emotions are exactly what fuels his dark kingdom. When you desperately defend yourself against toxic accusations, you actively enter his low earthly frequency. You willingly fight the battle on his chosen dark territory. He easily twists your beautiful logical explanations and turns them directly into new heavy weapons against your tired mind. But when you suddenly close your mouth and refuse to participate in the drama, his entire evil strategy completely collapses into nothing. Your absolute stillness creates a massive, deafening vacuum in the spiritual realm. Think about a dark, loud echo chamber. The enemy shouts a terrible lie about your character. He desperately waits for your angry, defensive echo to bounce back so he can continue the painful game. But your silence absorbs his dark attack completely. The lie hits a massive invisible wall and simply dies in the profound, quiet air. He is absolutely panicking right now because he cannot read your next strategic move. When you talk constantly, you accidentally reveal your hidden insecurities and your secret earthly fears. He uses that free information to perfectly plan his next painful midnight attack. But your newfound quietness makes you entirely unpredictable today. You have become a highly dangerous sealed vault of pure divine power. The ancient scriptures declare that the Lord will fight your battles while you simply remain entirely quiet. This is not a passive, cowardly suggestion. It is a brilliant, supreme military strategy. When you finally step entirely off the chaotic earthly battlefield, you legally authorize the massive armies of heaven to take your physical place. You stop throwing tiny rocks and you let the divine architect drop a massive cosmic meteor. Your silent withdrawal officially served legal notice to the dark enemy this past week. You firmly announced that you will no longer tolerate his endless manipulative earthly drama. You completely stopped feeding his hungry demons with your precious premium anxiety. He is currently starving in the dark because his primary earthly power source simply walked away and locked the heavy door. This is exactly why your current isolation feels so incredibly intense right now. You are physically feeling the angry backlash of a completely defeated enemy. He is throwing a massive spiritual temper tantrum because he lost his favorite toy. The strange, heavy atmosphere in your home is not a sign of your earthly failure. It is the undeniable smell of his total and absolute spiritual panic. Your silence loudly declares your profound trust in the divine timing. You no longer need to violently force earthly doors open with your own tired hands. You do not need to desperately convince blind people to finally see your immense true value. You are peacefully resting in the absolute certainty that your premium calling is completely secure. That deep, steady confidence is extremely loud in the high courts of heaven. You are actively dismantling ancient generational curses simply by holding your absolute peace today. Your ancestors probably spent their entire lives desperately arguing, fighting, and defending their fragile earthly honor. They passed that heavy, exhausting pattern directly down into your spiritual DNA. But you are the designated cycle breaker. Your profound silence is actively severing that toxic historical chain right now. You will never again exhaust your beautiful spirit trying to prove you belong in rooms you have already completely outgrown. The heavy burden of endless explanation is permanently lifted from your tired shoulders today. Your simple presence alone is more than enough to establish massive divine authority anywhere you choose to quietly stand. You carry the undeniable heavy weight of a premium chosen vessel. This profound revelation should completely wash away any remaining earthly guilt you feel about your recent necessary distance. You did exactly what heaven required you to do to survive the massive storm. But we must address one final dangerous trap before you can fully step into your new cosmic identity. There is a quiet shadow hiding inside your own heart that still secretly fears this massive new power. You successfully defeated the loud screaming enemy outside your physical gates. But there is a silent saboteur living quietly inside your own beautiful heart, and it is secretly draining your newly acquired cosmic peace. This hidden block is entirely invisible to your closest friends and family, but heaven clearly sees the subtle lie you whisper to yourself every single lonely day. I will gently expose this dark hidden block in just a short moment. It is going to completely challenge everything you currently believe about your own spiritual humility. But first, you must let the profound truth of your terrifying silence settle deeply into your tired bones. You are an incredibly powerful spiritual weapon, and now we must ensure you do not accidentally surrender that power to your own hidden fears. We have talked extensively about the massive external attacks you successfully survived. The dark enemy tried absolutely everything to break your spirit from the outside. But here is the part no one ever wants to talk about. The thing quietly blocking your ultimate breakthrough right now is something hiding inside your own heart. This is absolutely not an angry accusation against your character. It is the gentle diagnosis that finally sets your beautiful spirit entirely free. You have spent your entire earthly life believing you were just trying to be a good and kind person. You genuinely thought you were keeping the peace in your complicated relationships, but that is a complete illusion. You are actually deeply terrified of appearing completely arrogant to the ordinary world. You are absolutely afraid of what normal people will think when you finally stop trying to make them comfortable. You learned a long time ago that your intense spiritual depth makes ordinary people feel highly insecure. You realized that your heavy anointing intimidates them, so you actively created a brilliant disguise. You became an absolute master at making yourself incredibly small and approachable. Whenever your spiritual radar tells you to stay completely quiet, you panic. You worry that your profound silence will be quickly misinterpreted as selfish pride. You suddenly force yourself to speak up just to prove you are still a normal, friendly person. You desperately break your own holy boundaries just to soothe their irrational fears. Think about your own actions honestly for a quiet moment. You enter a heavy, toxic room, and your spirit immediately tells you to withdraw. But instead of honoring that divine warning, you force a loud, fake laugh. You actively participate in their meaningless earthly gossip just to show them you are perfectly normal. You over-explain your simple daily choices because you desperately need their constant emotional validation. This constant need to please everyone is your darkest internal prison today. The very empathy that makes you a beautiful chosen vessel is now actively suffocating your premium calling. You constantly disguise this deep fear as beautiful spiritual humility. You quietly tell yourself it is highly noble to stay firmly in the hidden shadows. But false humility is just pride wearing a cheap religious mask. It is a quiet agreement with the terrible lie that God made a massive mistake when he gave you such a heavy frequency. When you dim your bright light, you are completely insulting the divine architect. Lowering your premium frequency to match their chaotic level is completely exhausting your physical body. It takes an incredible amount of daily energy to keep a massive raging volcano completely capped. You literally fight your own divine spiritual DNA every single day just to make broken people feel slightly better. You cannot continue living forever in this extremely painful earthly tension. The tight space between who you are pretending to be and who heaven truly called you to be is tearing you apart. You must make a final firm decision tonight about your ultimate cosmic identity. You can keep hiding in the comfortable shadows and let your premium assignment pass you by completely. Or you can finally embrace the terrifying reality that you are a powerful spiritual giant who owes the world absolutely no explanations. It is time to permanently release your desperate need to keep everyone else completely comfortable. You were never meant to be a tiny fading spark for them. You were always born to be a massive raging fire. If your bright holy light burns their mortal eyes, they simply need to look away. Your only real responsibility is to burn exactly as bright as heaven absolutely commanded you to burn. The enemy absolutely loves your quiet, false humility today. He completely rejoices every time you swallow your profound words to keep the temporary earthly peace. He celebrates when you forcefully break your divine silence just to apologize for your own beautiful existence. Because as long as you are afraid of your own internal strength, he does not have to fight you at all. You are actively doing his dark work for him by keeping yourself securely locked away. This is exactly why heaven is forcing you into this sudden, profound isolation right now. God is entirely breaking your deeply ingrained childhood habit of always playing incredibly small. The uncomfortable, heavy silence is meant to finally crush your false humility into fine dust. I know this new truth is highly uncomfortable for your tired human heart to hear. The brilliant revelation of your own massive strength is often much harder to accept than the dark reality of your past pain. But you are completely ready for this hard truth today. You have suffered entirely too much to stay exactly the same fragile person forever. You can no longer pretend that this massive power is not there. You do not need anyone on earth to validate your massive spiritual authority anymore. You do not need their permission to finally stop explaining your every single move. The heavy scars on your beautiful soul are your permanent ordination papers. You already carry everything you need inside your own chest, and it is finally time to unleash it completely. This brings us directly to the most pivotal moment of your entire earthly journey. The long season of gentle, hidden preparation is officially complete today. The profound, dark isolation has successfully finished its perfect holy work in your daily life. You are currently standing at the absolute edge of a massive spiritual threshold. The only thing required now is your conscious verbal agreement with the high courts of heaven. I am going to gently guide you through a very specific spiritual declaration in just a short moment. This is the exact final verdict I promised you at the very beginning of this message. It is going to completely sever your hidden agreement with smallness forever. It will permanently lock your spiritual frequency into its highest possible state. Prepare your heavy heart right now, because everything officially shifts tonight. And now comes the absolute pivotal moment where everything officially shifts forever. You have clearly heard the profound truth about your recent silence today, and you have finally looked completely honestly at the silent shadow of your own false humility. The heavy preparation season of profound isolation is finally coming to a complete and glorious end. You do not need to wait for tomorrow to step into your power. This is your absolute moment. I want you to stop whatever you are doing right now. Close your earthly eyes and completely block out the dark physical world around you. Take your right hand and place it firmly over your heavy chest. Feel the steady beating of your own beautiful human heart. That heartbeat is the exact rhythm of a premium survivor who absolutely refused to break under massive cosmic pressure when the world tried to crush your beautiful spirit. Take a very deep breath and hold it for just a second. I want you to physically feel the heavy divine mantle resting securely on your tired shoulders while you prepare to take your rightful place in the spiritual realm. It is not an earthly burden meant to crush you. It is the glorious armor of a chosen vessel. You are going to speak directly to the high courts of heaven right now. You will use your powerful voice to permanently break the old chains. Speak these exact words out loud into the quiet atmosphere today. I permanently release the desperate need to be completely understood by ordinary people. I completely release every single agreement I ever made with smallness and fear. I forgive myself for frantically breaking my own holy silence just to keep the broken world comfortable. I officially break the toxic cycle of false humility today. Keep your hand firmly pressed against your heavy chest. Feel the warm energy starting to actively shift beneath your physical palm. Declare this next part with absolute divine authority. I fully accept the heavy mantle of my premium spiritual calling. I recognize that my recent silent withdrawal was holy preparation and not a bitter punishment. I am exactly where heaven absolutely needs me to be. My intense need for quiet isolation is not a sign of earthly weakness. It is the undeniable proof of my massive cosmic activation. I command the dark enemy to immediately remove his hands from my physical body, and I completely sever my invisible contracts with toxic people who constantly demand my energetic supply. I am an activated cycle breaker for my entire generational bloodline. The massive spiritual power inside me is absolutely not something to fear. It is the pure, holy frequency of heaven operating through a willing mortal vessel. I completely trust the divine architect who designed my deep and profound sensitivity. I will never again apologize for the heavy spiritual silence I carry into crowded rooms. I am truly chosen, and I am completely unbreakable. Take one more incredibly deep breath right now. Let the clean, earthly air completely fill your expanding lungs. As you slowly exhale into the room, imagine a thick, dark cloud completely leaving your tired body. That is the old heavy residue of your long-hidden season finally leaving your chest forever. The suffocating emotional pressure is permanently dissolving into nothing but fine dust. You have officially spoken the ultimate verdict over your own beautiful life. Heaven clearly heard your loud declaration and immediately stamped your spiritual file with absolute approval. The dark enemy heard your strong voice, and he is currently fleeing in absolute terror because he finally knows his long, deceptive reign of terrifying earthly guilt is completely over. You have finally taken your rightful cosmic seat. This is the profound catharsis I promised you at the very beginning of this message. You are currently standing completely washed in the bright light of your own accepted truth. The heavy mantle on your shoulders suddenly feels incredibly light and perfectly tailored. Heaven intentionally designed this exact beautiful garment specifically for your unique spirit. You wear the heavy authority with absolute stunning grace. Notice exactly how the atmosphere in your room feels completely different right now. The heavy, suffocating static is entirely gone. The air feels crisp and incredibly clean all around you. This is exactly what it feels like when a chosen one finally aligns completely with their premium frequency. You literally recalibrated the spiritual weather in your own home with just a few powerful spoken words. But this profound activation absolutely does not end when you open your eyes today. This specific moment is actually the absolute beginning of your massive earthly deployment. The beautiful words you just spoke have already traveled deep into your future timeline, and they are actively clearing the heavy debris from the path you will bravely walk tomorrow. You have legally authorized heaven to release your delayed blessings. You do not need to constantly explain your boundaries to anyone anymore. When you suddenly feel the urge to pull away from a crowded room, you will simply leave. You will not offer them a long, complicated apology for protecting your own premium energy. Your silence will no longer feel like a heavy, guilty burden. It will feel like a massive, impenetrable shield of pure, holy light. The ordinary people who are secretly meant to help you are already feeling a strange pull toward your location, while the closed doors that frustrated you for years quietly unlock themselves. You do not have to desperately force anything to happen in your earthly life anymore. Your newly calibrated high frequency will naturally attract every single resource you will ever truly need. When you wake up tomorrow morning, everything will be completely different. You will not feel a crushing wave of social anxiety when you check your phone. You will feel a gentle, warm tap on your shoulder from the divine spirit. You will simply sit up and smile because you know exactly who is calling your beautiful name. Your entire family bloodline is experiencing a massive spiritual ripple effect right now. The generational curses that completely ruined your ancestors are actively shattering because of your brave declaration today. You bravely stood in the dark gap and held the heavy, silent line against the enemy. You endured the blazing fire so your future children would never have to smell the bitter smoke. You are the absolute victor. Everything you endured in the dark was absolutely not wasted. The long seasons of feeling completely isolated were actively preparing you for this exact moment. You survived the intense, crushing pressure of being deeply misunderstood by everyone you loved. The blazing fire did not consume your beautiful spirit. It only burned away the chains of constant people-pleasing. You are absolutely not the weird outcast they claimed you were. You are the highly anointed chosen one for this specific generation. You no longer need to apologize for needing profound silence to survive. The intense sensitivity you carry is a massive divine gift. It is the exact spiritual radar heaven uses to shift the chaotic earthly atmosphere. Because you finally understand the immense weight of your true identity, the dark enemy has permanently lost his tight, manipulative grip on your deeply exhausted mind. You do not need anyone on earth to validate your massive calling today. You do not need their fragile permission to step fully into your divine power. The high courts of heaven have already officially stamped your spiritual passport. Your heavy emotional scars are the only real credentials you will ever truly need. You carry the authority of a premium cycle breaker. You will faithfully use this quiet power to completely dismantle dark generational curses. You have officially released every single toxic agreement with human smallness. You finally broke the cycle of hiding your light. The heavy burden of false humility is permanently gone from your tired shoulders. You will never again shrink down just to keep broken people completely comfortable. As you finally allow yourself to take up massive physical space in the world, you will clearly watch the wrong people naturally walk away from your life. The powerful declaration you just spoke has permanently sealed your divine protection. The enemy heard your voice, and he is terrified right now. He can no longer use your silent moments to attack your vulnerable mind. The heavy emotional pressure has beautifully dissolved into pure holy light. Your spirit is fully activated and remarkably alive. You finally surrendered to the heavy weight of your true calling. Your ultimate breakthrough is absolutely not coming in the distant future. It is already here and actively moving in your life right now. The heavy closed doors are quietly swinging wide open for you today. You do not have to fiercely chase down your earthly blessings anymore. Your new high frequency will naturally attract everything you truly need. The heavy spiritual storms around you will finally calm down entirely. Tonight you are going to experience a completely different kind of sleep. The heavy static in your bedroom has been cleared away. You will close your eyes and feel a profound blanket of warm peace. If you wake up in the dark, you will not feel any terrible panic. Heaven is currently standing a massive quiet guard over your bed. The profound peace you feel right now is your permanent new reality. It is the beautiful reward for surviving the long, painful winter. The heavy seeds you planted with your quiet tears are actively blooming today. You are exactly where heaven needs you to be. You are actively stepping into a season of massive spiritual clarity and profound purpose. The heavy confusion that previously clouded your mind is permanently lifted. You can finally see the intricate divine tapestry of your entire earthly life. Every single painful rejection suddenly makes perfect logical sense today. They successfully protected you from settling for an ordinary, meaningless existence, and you must never walk backward into the small rooms you completely outgrew. The old, fragile version of you is entirely dead. You cannot revive that old identity just to make them happy. People from your past might try to pull you back into their comfortable chaos. You must firmly stand your holy ground and completely refuse their subtle invitations. Your premium anointing requires a completely upgraded environment today. You must carefully guard your high frequency from their heavy, worldly static. You fought incredibly hard to reach this peaceful clearing. You are completely allowed to simply rest today. Heaven is not demanding any more painful sacrifices from your tired body. The testing phase is absolutely over and the blessing phase is commencing. You can finally drop your heavy shields and breathe normally again. There are millions of chosen ones currently suffering tonight. They are sitting in crowded rooms and feeling utterly terrified of their own depth. They falsely believe the heavy lie that their profound sensitivity is a terrible mental illness. They desperately need this exact liberating truth you just received. You hold the vital key to their massive breakthrough right now. You can easily help them escape their dark prison. I need you to actively share this message with someone who truly needs it today. Share this with a beautiful soul who has always been called too sensitive. Share it with the quiet person whose sudden silence has been heavily misunderstood all week. Do not let them fight this terrifying midnight battle completely alone. Be the shining light that guides them home. Your simple action today could literally save their completely shattered spirit. We must actively support each other in this dark, chaotic world. Please subscribe to this channel and gently turn on all your notifications. You are part of a massive global awakening of highly sensitive chosen ones, and we are faithfully gathering together to completely dismantle the dark, earthly matrix. You will absolutely need continuous spiritual nourishment. Do not miss the next divine revelation about your true identity. Heaven is actively releasing new premium blueprints every single week. The heavy season of dark preparation is officially complete. You are absolutely not the same fragile person who started this video. Your massive earthly assignment starts right now in this beautiful, quiet moment. Go forward with steady confidence and radiant divine love. You will easily walk in total victory because heaven is fighting your heavy battles. You are truly chosen. You are deeply loved by the divine creator. You are finally entirely free.